Hello, and today we are back with more Standard. We are playing Foundation Standard. We're trying out this Dimir Oculus deck. So everyone's probably familiar with the blue-white version. I've seen this kind of popping up around online here or there, and I wanted to give it a shot. I think the first person I saw or heard talking about it was Jerry Thompson on his podcast, and this was a few weeks ago. Just plain black over white. You lose Helping Hand as a 1-mana spell, but I don't think that that's that big of a deal with Oculus. Like, when you had Mentor in your deck, it was probably more of an upgrade, but you sort of just want to get this thing into play, and it doesn't matter if you're using 2 or 1 mana, so you have Nowhere Left Behind as your reanimation spell of choice. It's just always going to be 2 mana unless you have a Djinn in play, but I don't think you really need more than 4 reanimation spells anyway, so losing the recommission, whatever the 2-mana one is called, isn't that big of a deal, but you do get access to the black spells. I think that it's understandable that black would have some of the best removal in the format. That's sort of what the color does. Also, you get discard, so Duress clearing the way for Oculus is a really big deal. Still have Surveil lands. These are in all the color combinations, so that one shows up here. And then we have Wail of Forgotten, which can check to see if you have 8 permanents and you get all the modes. Most of the time, that's not going to happen. We're probably just going to pick one. But some nice utility. You can bounce maybe like a Liliana in the Void or whatever, buy you time. Just a flexible card. And a Graveyard Enabler. And then we're trying Kiora, which I've already tried. This card's solid in these style of archetypes. As well as Abyssal Harvester, which I have not played much with, but I'm looking forward to trying here. If you have it in play and you discard an Oculus, you can just immediately make a copy of it. And it also can sort of function almost like a Kalidas, where if it's in play and you're killing your opponent's creatures, you can put them into play. Let me make sure that's how it works. Exile creature from a graveyard. Yeah, okay. So yeah, pretty appealing card, sort of fragile, but it is a 3-drop that we can get back and has some other synergies. Sideboard I mostly copied just from other lists. Just removal, Liliana for control. I have Preachers in my sideboard. I haven't really seen this. But against Graveyard Hate, it's just a good card. It's good against red decks. And it's a little bit more of a mid-rangey thing you can pivot out of, like Haughty Djinn or Oculus if you're worried about Graveyard Hate, or maybe you just want to take out Nowhere Left Behind and sort of switch to a mid-range deck. And then some sweepers, some cards for burn, counter spells, Graveyard Hate, Gix's Command for things like Invoke. So pretty straightforward blue-black deck. Look forward to giving it a try and seeing how it fares compared to the white versions. I think the way that I think about this archetype is you sort of just want to be more powerful and proactive than your opponent. I'm not sure how important answering stuff is. The biggest upgrade, in my opinion, is probably going to be Duress, where if an Oculus gets to stay in play, you can just run away with the game. But I don't necessarily mind the removal in white being bad, because I think you're just trying to have a better board than people most of the time. So we'll see how it goes. I will see you guys in the games. We get to go first. I'm going to try this hand. I need a spell, but I do have Founding to set up the Oculus, so let's give it a go. You know, the play's nice. Opponent mulligans. Okay, I think I'll take that. And we're going to play our untap land and probably try to find another untap land. So do this. We're against green-black. Let's look at 3. This is the mode that's going to be chosen most of the time. I guess I'm taking a reanimate. Sure. That means the next turn I'll probably get to Haughty Djinn at bare minimum. Might clear a removal spell even. Oh, okay, so opponent's playing combo deck. So removal will be good there. So we're at a lot of cards, right? So we can leave a Djinn. I think I'm just going to Oculus now. Makes sense. Get the ball rolling. We do need to find removal, otherwise we might just die. But I think it takes is what it's like, kind of like a Molly. It's like a 3-card combo and requires a 5-drop. So Annex. Okay. Well, if they don't, like, curve exactly into the combo and kill us, we'll probably be fine. Oh, I'm dumb. I didn't really think about that. I could have just flashback a spell. Maybe it's fine, though, because if I don't untap land, I could double spell, and I do have the Oculus going, so... So this is a Djinn. Attacks for 0. I'm fine with trading it. Alright, you go to the graveyard, and I guess I'm just going to cast a Djinn. Don't have anything else to do. 0-4. Okay, so now we get a power here. That's nice. So now... So this, they don't have pieces of the combo, so I don't think we have that much to worry about. That was a really good draw. Okay, I will lead with this. Try to find a removal spell or something. Duress versus Chart. I guess my graveyard's loaded. Don't have untap land. Do I want to just Oculus? I think I just Chart for removal spell. Okay, so we missed again. Do I want to run in all my stuff? So the Oculus is going to die. I can just keep the one I have in my hand. If I attack, it's getting eaten. I might trade. They're going to take 4. Probably shouldn't suicide my Oculus and just grow my board. Could reanimate Kiora and look for Go for the Throat. Maybe that's best. Discard 1. What am I doing? Alright. So I could surveil first as well. I suppose I will? I guess... It's interesting. Maybe I'm being greedy here and I should just Oculus. Okay, we hit. Alright, so they probably need a sweeper. That just didn't block. Okay. Nice. Well, that was lucky. I'm not sure the most correct way to play that, but it worked out. We did have a lot of shots of looking at it, but there was only 4 in the deck, so maybe it wasn't worth doing, but I guess I could. So what I should have done was probably not play the Surveil land, because I have 3 more Wails, and that also works. I didn't think about that, so that was my mistake, but I didn't get punished for it. I also potentially could hit Prankster in to Go for the Throat. Yeah, so I don't think the Surveil was worth, even though it dug me a card deeper, because it lowered the likelihoods I could remove the flying blocker. Alright, so green-black combo thing. I sort of don't want to sideboard until I see what they're doing. Maybe is Liliana good? They do have the Archfiend combo. Yeah, I think I'm fine with my configuration. I could have like, I could take out maybe a Duress. Or something like a Preacher. I don't know if I love any of these other cards. Gix's Command's maybe okay, but again, if they're trying to do the combo-y stuff, it's not great. I wouldn't mind like a Disdainful Stroke here, but I guess that doesn't hit. That doesn't hit the Annex, so whatever. Duress is always tricky versus these Annex decks because like it's not really a great card. Maybe with the deck that I'm playing, it makes it better. But typically, it's not the best thing against black midrange. But also getting to nab and Annex changes the way the games play out a lot. This hand seems good. Kiora, sure. Okay, so this is another thing. I can only imagine this how it works. I can't do this. I can't do these both. They left up mana, so I will just... Wait, can I do this? I think Arena is just showing it. I don't think it's worth reanimating here. I think I would rather get this going. And then I can Oculus. and reanimate it if it dies, or just do it that way. Okay. I think my hand's good enough. I'm just going to take a go for the throat. I guess I'm probably playing Kiora next turn, right? If they tap out, I get Oculus. Preacher. Well, let's see if I hit a Djinn. Did not. So I have River. I can deal a point to myself. Could River go to 19 Oculus. But then I'm not going to be able to double spell necessarily. I guess, So this gets a buyback next turn, which means I'm reanimating Oculus. I don't know. I'm going to play it slow. I think that my late game is more powerful than theirs. I think I'll end up with more cards, but maybe that's not the correct approach. Okay, there's Annex. Sure. Okay. So you animate this. Autopay. And then what do I have? I have a Preacher. It's probably worth getting back. There you go. So I have a good board. They have some extra cards. Yep. This means they're probably not going to get a demon into play. That might be a good one. Let me read this. Let's put it under this turn. Yeah, so if my opponent kills my Preacher, I can just make a copy of it. Which is kind of nice. I don't know if that's better than Oculusing. If their hand is all removal, maybe it's worth doing. I'm gonna... No, I think I Oculus. I do love a good free card, but... Probably don't need another land at this point. Sure. 6/6 is problematic, I guess. Yeah. Okay, let's find a removal or a bounce. So I just milled 4, right? So that means I can get this Oculus back. Gets exiled, but do I care? So a creature card from a graveyard that was put there this turn. That's pretty cool. Alright. I don't know if we're gonna win this game, but we're doing stuff. That's a good one. So now I guess this Oculus can't attack. Shieldred, okay. Well, these are good clocks. So I guess, I don't know why they had that stupid life gain bad in their deck. I think they just have a bad card in their deck. Maybe they're not actually the combo. Okay. All I need is an answer for this demon and we'll be chilling. Okay. So. still kind of chilling. I guess I'll just reanimate a Preacher. Why not? If they have a way to blow up the board, my life is... Oh, they have an Ooze. Okay, whoops, my bad. That was stupid. Well, obviously that was not the play. My bad. Alright. Doesn't make that big of a difference. It's like pretty unlikely that the spell's ever going to do anything, but it... I don't know. You still should have done it. It's going to be an interesting game. They have a lot of life. I only have 3 green sources. I guess they have the demolition field as well. To block the Djinn, their demon needs to die. They can get another 6/6 though. I guess, depending on what happens with this Archfiend, I might just win because it's in play. So this doesn't do anything anymore because the Ooze. They're getting 4 life a turn, which is a lot of life, but I'm making 4 power a turn. And eventually I might hit another Djinn. It's a cool game. That's disgusting. Well, unlucky, I guess. It's another killing me. Or attempting to. I'm taking 4 a turn. When I block, I take 4, so I'm just dead. Huh. Sure. Oh, I just card in your deck. Sure. I'm dead? I didn't do 2, so it'll be 1, 2, 3. So it's 7. Okay. I think I'm dead. Yeah, we get no help. It's just so random. Maelstrom pulls. I don't think this card's remotely playable. People can just kill you on turn 3. Like, you should not be playing it, but you maybe side deck it in mirrors. They got us this game. We did flood mega hard, but I guess that happens. Yeah, that sucks. Okay. Yeah, I mean their deck's just like a good green-black deck with random bats that don't do anything. All right. So Ooze. I mean, I still have removal spells. I guess Cut Down's terrible. Put in Gix's command just to clear random large creatures, and I guess Anoint or Duress. Maybe Liliana on the play. That's probably fine. Part of the reason I didn't consider Liliana stronger is stupid offspring from the bats and like the random garbage they might have, but I don't. It doesn't make any sense unless they would play the 5 mana card, but that seems really bad. So Sand seems good. All right. Look at 3. Huh. Alright. That's nice. That means we can Oculus, we can die, and we can do it again. They might have turn 3 Ooze, but sure, my hand's great. So they're taking Oculus, and then I'm going to play a Haughty Djinn, I think. Hope they dodge removal spell. Ooh, Preacher instead. They didn't take Oculus, so I'm going to get my free card. I guess we'll just get rid of the Harvester so I can flashback the Go for the Throat. If I want. So we draw. So this has to die, which means they can't annex. Okay, didn't die. I mean, maybe annex is strong enough that they could just do that. Yeah, let's do this. It's fine. It means we don't have to worry as much about demons. The Oculus needs to get answered. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. Maybe, nah, that was a punt. That was a huge mistake. I just wanted it in the graveyard, but it's so much better in play. If I draw land, I can go like... If they don't kill this Oculus, I think I win the game. If I draw land, I can go Haughty Djinn, reanimate Oculus. But if this stays in play, I don't care that I'm making that play. I should play around... Well, I guess in that case, it's dying, right? So does my play make sense? I think no matter what, my play doesn't make sense. Yeah, so this should be an Oculus currently. That was a mistake by me, just because I had the reanimation, but I think it's worse. We're probably going to be okay. I mean, maybe they found the removal spell. I think they would have just cleared the Oculus before doing this. But if they're playing towards, like, comboing me, maybe it makes sense. I feel like I've had very good hands all these games, though. I wouldn't say that the black has been meaningfully better. Like, it's nice to have Go for the Throat, but, like, the point I made in the deck recording, like, I think these could just be, like, get losts or whatever, because the games are relatively condensed on the board. It just doesn't matter. Like, if I'm playing, like, a mid-range deck and I'm giving my opponent maps, like, that will add up and matter. But my point, it's basically just, like, a small reanimator deck, right? Like, this is a 3-mana Atraxa. It's not as good as Atraxa, but it is much easier to get into play and castable. But, like, the game just becomes about this and basically nothing else, unless my opponent has, like, Sunfall or Graveyard Hit. Okay. So we drew. Yeah, attack. Nothing? Okay. What? I just couldn't concede. They couldn't bring themselves to it. Alright. GG. Alright, we're on the draw. I think this hand's fine. It's another hand where, like, I think I would rather just this be a helping hand. But it doesn't make that big of a difference. Like, if I milled a fatty there, I could still just get it back on turn 2. So it looks like we're against red with no... Oh, it's the combo stuff. Well, we may be dead, but they probably don't go all in initially. We'll see what happens. Yeah, just the best card in Standard, of course. This card is so insane. I remember seeing it on the spoiler and being like, just perplexed. Like, the first 2-mana 2/2 with Prowess draws cards. Like, imagine that. Imagine that being step 1 of 2/2 haste Prowess. Like, we can't just ease into it, you know? Alright, there's a Haughty Djinn. So this is notably probably better than Helping Hand because it is untapped. Do I want to do it? I guess I do. It's better for me to, like, double spell, but I've cut down now, so I know about the cut down, so it's maybe tricky for it to do anything crazy, but let's just see what happens. I have a blocker and I have a cut down up, so if their hand's weak, maybe we can get through it. Mark. Okay, so that means they want me to cut down, and then if I don't cut down, it goes away. If I do cut down, they counter my cut down. So I think I've lost the game. I could just do nothing, and then I get to keep my cut down, potentially. And I eat a bunch of damage. I could call their bluff and just hope. But, like, there's no way they're bluffing here. It just doesn't matter. I think it's fine. I can just bluff that I have, like, a non-cut down. But my hesitation, I think, probably gave it away. And maybe they had nothing there, but they did it quickly enough that I'll trust them. And I guess I'll no blocks. I have 16 life. They Monstrous Rage. This won't have double strike. Probably don't die. Sure. Snakeskin Veil that they have to use right now. So they probably Veil here, and then I can't cut down. I think we're dead. They veiled the wrong thing. Okay. So I need an answer to this. Okay, I found a bounce spell. Well, don't think I have options. Okay, that goes back to the hand. I lose a life. That gets cut down. I'll attack you for 3, and everybody cross your fingers, because I think we're dead, but maybe not. They probably have like a Monstrous Rage. I think it's clear they had one way to pump, and then they got all the freebies, so yeah. I guess having cut down here was appealing compared to maybe the white version, but my hand's just so bad. Okay. Whatever. Dead to everything. Dead to anything. Go through the motions, why not? I did add, notably I did, I have 10 3-drops in the deck compared to the 8, so maybe, that's not true, because I haven't drawn any cards I would have cut. I've only drawn Oculus and Djinn, so this is just misfortune, is what it is. Not a big deal. Alright, that's 100 billion damage, it's both trample. I just have 2 rages. So 10, 14, chump. You got me. Alright. So, do Preachers, Eclipse. I think Liliana on the play. Put all my removal. So they have the ley line. Kiora is interesting. Getting an 8/8 is actually appealing, but Harvester probably can go. I don't know if Djinn matters. And then I think I'm just going to take out a card advantage spell. Maybe Eclipse sucks, right? Just try that. Eclipse is probably kind of bad. Maybe acceptable in the play versus certain draws. Sometimes they board into more creatures and they just jam to the board. Because they all in on the... if they all in at the wrong time, they get blown out. And I'll reassess Liliana's on the draw. They get a lot worse. Questing Druid is a card that might be difficult to beat. They just pass here. I think we're doing this. I don't really want this Liliana to get hasted down. So this makes the go for the third cost 1. I don't mind them interacting with my stuff. Okay. Sure. And it's not that relevant to me. So I could Djinn go for the throat. I think that's fine. 3. So their hand is horrendous. Although when they draw a creature, my life kind of sucks. Because I don't have to kill it. I shouldn't have played my land. It's kind of interesting. It has to be the haste creature, and it has to be right now. But then it does get 2 cards, so... Sure. So I lose to a creature now. I can't actually beat one. I guess I'm going to plus and just hope to fade, and then I can discard my next card. We'll see what happens. I didn't really consider them just hard casting. Yeah, that's kind of miserable for me. Am I dead? I think I'm dead. Well, if we dodge for 1 turn, I think the game is over. Whatever. Okay, they didn't draw another spell. In combat, at least. Well, that was lucky. Guess I'm plussing then. Could be like a paw pat now. Oh, Liliana. Okay. Sure. Three of 8. So split piles into probably everything or no or nothing. Split piles target player. That's what I'm thinking. Is there a reason? So they obviously take 1 land plus everything. I think I'm fine with just doing everything or nothing. You could draw an additional land, I suppose. I think I'm So they're playing towards drawing a land. So I get to draw a card when I attack. I guess I'll attack first, and then I can maybe just bounce the ley line. No, I don't think I have anything to worry about. I also drew a cut down, but they have to beat this Preacher. So I got pretty lucky. I wonder how many mistakes I made early on, but kind of a complicated game. Okay. Alright, now the horrifying on the draw versus the red ley line game, where I have to have 1 mana removal or I just die like a dog. Do I want to change anything? So I could have Duress. I meant 1 mana interaction, to be more specific. So Liliana could become what? I guess this is appealing if they do the leyline plus you kill my guy and make a bunch of 2/2s thing. Let's just hope to get lucky, I guess. I don't know how good Liliana is typically, but just the fact that it can be multiple removal spells is really appealing when I do have so much interaction. Do I want to just, like, have as much interaction as possible? Maybe just rely on these, hope things work out. I think I'm fine with trying this approach. Give it a shot. The other thing that can happen is they can just lose to their deck. It is sort of scary to mulligan against black decks, and this deck needs to mulligan sometimes. So this hand seems great. If they do have, like, leyline 1-drop, hopefully they don't have double ways to kill me. No leyline. Okay. Holy, alright. I guess I'm gonna hope. It's kind of a tricky spot. All has to do with what they draw. No Swift Spear. Think that I need to, in case they have a card like Questing Druid, I need to make sure that I'm finding an Oculus. Maybe it's incorrect, but I do have a lot of removal spells, so. If they miss on land, we get to just annihilate them with this, if they play the Swift Spear. Okay, I'm under no pressure, I can take one all day long. Like I said, we just want an Oculus. Kiora, I'll wait a turn. Not really sure what they could do, but what? This is already 7-14 damage. Can block with Kiora next turn. Looks like they didn't find a land. I think they kept 7, right? Or am I wrong? So 3-5. I don't think they'll be able to beat an 8-8 if this lives. This gets me to 8 cards. Not blocking. Okay, so cut down, take 1. Wail attack, they probably concede. Well, opponent did not play magic, but I guess that's part of what you sign up with this deck. Unfortunate for them, but yeah, it happens. It's one of the other sides of the coin of being able to kill people on turn 2. I remember there was a point where I was playing this deck. I was just like playing best of 1, just bullshitting around. I think I had like a 3-game streak where I killed people on turn 3. 3 games in a row. Okay. Alright. Well, that was anticlimactic, but win's a win. GG. Alright. Opponent goes first. We've got a handful of cards. Okay, cool. Well, if they're a creature deck, I guess I'll be happy that I have these black spells. Otherwise, what? This would be like a get lost and something else. Alright, that was a good draw. Don't know what this is. Probably not a creature deck, which is maybe bad news for these removal spells. Much rather have a get lost versus, I guess, something with planeswalkers, but no one really plays planeswalkers. I don't know what's going on. Uh-oh. Well, this is bad. I will say that having Wail is pretty appealing. That's one of the more impressive things I've noted for this style of archetype. It's just like bounce spell plus strategic plannings is like pretty good. All right, well, they're hitting land drops. I think the only way I was going to win this game, assuming that they are a control deck, was if they stopped hitting land drops. But at this point, we just drew a bunch of removal. So if they are a control deck, which they appear to be, I don't think I can win. Missed another land drop. I suppose I could be trying to discard this to hand size to be able to reanimate it, but I don't. Doesn't sound that appealing to me. Just the most boring game ever played. Okay. Can't beat it. Can't beat it ever. Maybe we'll at least see what they're doing. Opponent's just praising God that I have done literally nothing. I don't know what their hand is, but maybe they're panicked that I'm blue-black control, but I don't think Wail of whatever it's called is a card that typically would go into that archetype. Alright, they tapped out a blue, but I could easily have a removal spell. Oh, I don't have 6 anyway. God, it's so funny. Holy shit. I just haven't played a single... I played a Wail, it's it. The only card I've played in this game. This is just pathetic. I want to concede so bad, but I have to see what they're playing. It's just the worst game of Magic I ever played. Sure. I didn't fuck up too bad, but it just adds to the quality of this game. Sorry, I unplugged it. This mic I have is really, really terrible, so sometimes I have issues with it. Forgot to play my spell. I'm fiddling with the mic. Oh, did I don't have all of them, do I? Okay. So I don't want this to get countered. I don't think. Just pass. Somehow this has survived. God, if I win this game. Roaring Furnace. Yeah, that card's good when nothing happens in the game ever. Oh, damn. Yeah. All these cards are really good when nothing happens in the game ever, to be honest. I do think this card is incredibly powerful. And if I was going to play a deck like my opponents, it would probably be because I wanted to play 4 copies of this card. It's funny because it's like a removal spell that falls off, but it falls off while being a card draw spell, so it just kind of doesn't matter. Just so incredibly strong. I wonder if they just wanted people to play Izzet in Standard, and that's why. Card's as good as it is. I might get, like, what's it called? Sure. I was going to say I might get got by, like, counterspell plus prowess spell, but who cares? Maybe trading wasn't worth. This game's such a wash, though. Oh, man. I hate that I have to keep playing. I wish they could show me their hand. I wish there was an I have 3 cancels emote. Mulligan to 2, this game feels like it's 3. I just drew a billion lands too. Alright, I'm gonna concede because I'm playing Arena Ladder and none of this matters. And I don't want to play this game anymore. Alright, negates. Lilianas. I could try Ghost Vacuum. So since I'm playing against a control player, I'm going to assume they have Ghost Vacuum. Also, they can just counter this anyway. I think I'd rather just cast my shit. Then... Okay, 61. So something like this is what I'm aiming towards. Having Ghost Vacuum is a bit awkward, but... I don't know. I mean, I guess they'll just ill-timed Explosion even if I do spend 6 mana to make a bunch of 1/1 copies of my stuff. Okay, let's do this. Alright, so what would Go for the Throat be good against? I think this is fine. Like, I have plenty of cards that I don't really want in my deck, but... maybe I would just rather try to have the Reanimator plan work out, though. Preacher's a nice solo threat. Haughty Djinn has 4 toughness. I don't know if they'll even have, like, torches in their deck, so maybe Kiora is effectively as good as a high toughness creature anyway. Do I want this? I don't think I want this. So how's this look? Probably fine. Alright. Hopefully we have a hand that does anything. I am, like, as miserable as that game probably was to watch, it is useful to be reminded of the things that happen with this deck. Like, there was the one game where I just drew, like, 5 or 6 3-drops. And I couldn't play Magic because my deck just has such a low land count. And then there was that game where, like, I flooded, but also my cards kind of didn't do anything. I guess in the context of removal spells, it's not really fair because you have to play removal spells in Standard. It's not like a question of like, oh, I'll just cut all my removal spells from my deck. It's like, no, the red decks are clearly very, very, very powerful and you need to respect them. Let's chart, I suppose. Okay, maybe I'm off base about what's actually going on here. Missed on a land. What does this mean? Does this mean my opponent's just not playing control and they just drew like a weirdly control hand? They're probably just playing control. Maybe they sideboarded these or they think this is a good card in control. Which it's probably not, but... I don't know. Whatever. Sure. Alright, well, we're just missing our land drops. Opponent curved 1/2. This 1/1 is pecking us. Oh shit, I didn't... okay, I should have reanimated. Going through the motions, as it were. Yeah, this is another spot where, like, sometimes being able to cast Helping Hand for 1 mana is a really big deal, especially with Founding. Like, having the extra mana to do stuff is really appealing, so... I think my walk away from these matches, limited amount of matches, Do what you will. Like, but if you're not playing against a ton of red decks, I think I would rather just play the white version. These upgrades haven't felt meaningful, and I do think that like the 1 mana matters, especially in closer games or games where you're low on mana, which your deck's only going to play 20 to 22 lands. Yeah, my opponent just kind of steamrolled me. Fortunately, I do not have Oculus, which would be the best to punish against a blue-red deck. So, what can I do here? Liliana is just the worst it could ever look. Kiora is the easiest, most likely thing to die. Preacher doesn't really do anything, though. I'm going to play this and then concede when they kill it, I think. I don't think that one's going to matter. Okay. Alright, well, that was the blue-black deck. Some kind of fishy games. Some ottery games towards the end, but it's cool. You know, give it a shot if you have the cards. Maybe you get a better breakthrough than I do. I think it makes sense to play this version. I'm not convinced. Like, if you're gonna do the Oculus thing, I sort of feel like you should just do white, or you should just, like, if you want to do the black mid-range thing, there are plenty of great options. But it doesn't feel like, to me, having Go for the Throat and Cut Down is the difference maker for this deck, right? Like, you don't really need games to go long. You don't need to buy time for your cards to get value. You just need to execute on your game plan and have some interaction for when that doesn't work. So I think you could just have like unsummons or whatever, and it wouldn't make that big of a difference. Like, if Helping Hand was a blue card, I would probably just be playing like a mono blue version with unsummons or whatever. I think what mostly matters is getting Oculus into play. And if you don't get Oculus into play, you kind of just die. So that was the games. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Deck in the description if you want to copy the list. And have a good day.